These are all videos primarily me dealing with the Alden Borough Police. The majority of them are me being turned down from even handing in evidence. But some of them are pertaining to my fiance, Desiree Ichkowski, the one where I'm talking to the female officer, Pollock, that has, if you hear her say, that's in the second video, after the one where, and that's related to the first one, well, they're all interconnected and interrelated, but if you hear her, it's very important. She said she doesn't even try to attempt to explain why Dave Smith, who, now I'll be honest, he probably meant it for me, but he didn't say it to me. He said it to her. He called her phone up because my grandmother asked if she could, why didn't I mail her the Florida Department of Health papers? Because they were lying to her and saying there was no prosecution, nothing like this, meaning James Berger and Trey Smith. So I mailed it to her. They turned the FedEx guy back. James Berger, I'm almost surely, they didn't say get his ID, but anyway, here, when Tree Smith, Desiree would text her saying that your mother said to drop these off for you, the papers. She goes, oh, not now, in a couple of weeks when I get my glasses, or some shit, she says. And I grabbed the phone and I texted back, you didn't need your glasses to read it, to read the papers off to the Zavella to go get me prosecuted, or some shit like that. I said, no threats, nothing nasty or nothing like this. I said, it doesn't matter, you don't need to read them, just hand them to your mother. Well, that's when her husband gets on the phone about an hour later, calls up, and Desiree answers the phone and goes, I'm gonna beat you to fucking death with a baseball bat, he says. So I'm like, what the fuck? So I get on the phone with, yo, he says, I'm coming down here right now. I said, yeah, all right. So I walked out front and walked up to the top because he lives right around the corner. I figured if they break in my house again, if the two break-ins, that they did absolutely nothing, one with the police. So I went up to meet them. Here, the cops will stop him. Well, let's try to subdue him. But when he's getting subdued, I think they were going to arrest him. I'm not sure. But he starts screaming that I just got off the phone with John White. So I asked for a body cam. They never gave it to me or allowed me a process to get it. But you can hear her. She admits she's the responding officer. She in no way tries to, in any way, tries to explain why Mr. Smith's not arrested. I'm charged with harassment while standing in Alden. I was standing in Florida, but my aunt, who's in Alden, she could exploit my mother. But here she directs the crime at me. The overt action when she conceals my mother's hospitalization, her and Jim Berger, so they could sell her house to the man who found her body while she's in a coma and my mother deteriorates. They won't even investigate. But here's the point of all the other videos. They refuse to even take evidence. Then in the last video, you see me being assaulted by a man with a rock, throwing a rock. I'm actually charged with scratching, and you see how I chased him off the property as soon as, right? Here, I come right back here because the neighbor has a scratch on his car. I'm charged, but this unknown neighbor, how do you know he's a neighbor? Meaning the man throwing the rock. And then the guy, he goes to work all day, then comes back and says he has a scratch in his car and that it's from me. But and Doris says right on the video, right in the affidavit, he says, not other than the unknown neighbor, he also says, the unknown neighbor throws a rock at him. He doesn't. No, I was assaulted with the rock. You see, it hit me. It's not like he missed. My fiance is standing right behind me, videotaping. So anyway, there's the directional speakers pointed at our house. All right, and okay, here's the video about to start. All these were just some documents and pictures. Familiar with the case was up until me trying to get Alden Borough Police to actually uphold the law. There's coming up about the HIPAA exemptions, and that's what got me.
In Borough, municipal body that's that runs our town of Alden, this little community of homes. What they like to do is then in the Delaware County emergency management, the whole damn county, is basically they're like the gang stalk government witnesses.
I'm a government witness from the state of Florida. No. Yes. No, I'm not trying. No, look what you just did to our house.
Get out here.
Look at what you just did out my window.
Stop. Stop, get out of here.
Look at my window.
Dude, stop, get the fuck out of my door. Get out of my house.
He's disturbing my service dog who's registered by the ADA. I'm deaf in my left ear.
Stop here, you fucking harassing us. You cops are the worst, eh?
Put the foot
get your
out
foot
of
inside
my
my
door.
house.
Coming's coming too. Get out here now.
No,
Get
no.
out here.
You just can't break into my house.
I'm not breaking in your house.
Yes, you just did.
Into the window.
I'm trying to run back in your house when I try to take you to arrest.
No, you trying to fucking break into my house. You and your little gang stalk that you got going on here.
Yeah, that's right.
That's right, we've been seeing you in court. Now get your foot out of my house.
There's people flying 90 miles per
Yeah,
hour.
we've been recording all day. Now get out of
You
here.
guys don't do anything
You get
about
out.
it. No!
Stop. Get out of here.
You'll be under arrest too if you're insistent.
No, you won't. Call the lawyer. Call my lawyer up.
Are you aware of the letter that I gave, or I emailed Sergeant Detective Zavello on Friday afternoon, hours before that incident? It's either like yes or no. Did anybody inform you about an email that I sent Zavello?
So I only work at nighttime and he's in during the day. He's day shift.
Right. Did anybody inform you about the email that I sent him? It was at like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Because I seen on Thursday night, I seen Bell right here. He said the executive officer was, I guess, Coppola, and he said Zavello would be in sometime that I should call first. The secretary had already told me if I need to talk to him, I need to email him first. So I emailed him, letting him know that the police report that Doris filled out was insufficient, that it was like almost like a 14th Amendment violation-ish because he approved it, Zavello. There's nobody's name. So I'm talking to this Clifton cop, and I said, on Friday night, I said, what's going on with this now? I said, I got it on tape, I got it on recording of this in tandem of Bell and his little multicultural cohort here throwing a brick through my window. Okay, you just knew I was there and stuff like this. There was no arrest or investigation. Then someone kicked in my front door. They said my fiance tried to press charges. Nothing. Here as a government witness, I made a phone call from Florida. No threats, no nothing. Even the DA said it was put down in the code, like the actual charge wrong. I mean, they could have amended it. But here I was charged full investigation. They wrote my name down. They said it was anonymous, but I know that's not all on you. Why was not Mr. Smith arrested last night? And can you preserve your body cam for Friday night, especially after what he said, that his wife called the cops on him, not me, because he threatened to beat me and my fiance with a baseball bat. Now, I asked her to get involved in my mother's homicide prosecution that happened, full field investigation, signed off by the governor. I get charged for that while standing in Florida. Doris won't even write the name down or anything. And then I told Zavello that it was insufficient on Friday afternoon, and I believe that, part of this disruption operation that's being going on with the, I'm sure it's being, the benefactors, the town watch, and because they're not watching this turn into a speedway here, but I'm just saying, it's like, why wasn't Mr. Smith arrested when he threatened my fiance to beat her with a baseball bat? And then he says John White gave him permission. Is that what he was saying? If you could preserve your body cam.
I can go back and listen to it. He said that all he said that is that he called John White. I don't even know if he has John White's number or not. I have no proof whether he called him or not.
Well, this would start making sense about why, there's no equality of law, why I'm being charged with harassments while I'm standing in Florida. But Chief Gang Stalker Zavello is telling me that, Sergeant Detective Zavello is telling me that, well, the homicide happened in Florida. Well, what does that matter about the conspiracy and the exploitation of even if she didn't die, all that is still a crime. That just compounds it, like solidifies it. I'm saying, why wasn't Mr. Smith then charged if he called? Because I talked to that Clifton cop. He said, well, I said, he just threatened to beat me and my girlfriend with a baseball bat, and said because the town councilman says that it's, I try to get him to say, like, who's that? he wouldn't say that. He said the guy who owns Alden. I'm pretty sure that's the John White I'm thinking about. But, like, you know, he's intoxicated, calls my fiance's phone, right? Threatens to beat us with baseball bats. So he's coming down there. So I figured I'd meet him before he gets to the house, because if he kicks in my door or attacks us, the cops won't do nothing about it. So then you show, why wasn't he arrested? This is insane. He came to my, threatened to come and kill us, all intoxicated. This is getting beyond, like, ridiculous now. Is there a reason why he wasn't arrested?
Here, I'm gonna have my sergeant. He was on that night with me. I'm gonna have him come up. You can talk to him as well.
Should I walk over? Just walk over?
No, I'll have him come up here.
Well, I actually got something that I want to make an actual report. So if that's the case, can I go down there if he's there?
If he's not at the station, we have statement forms in our cars, so I can grab you one. Let me call him real quick.
All right. Well, is he going to come up here?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm going to go to my binder real quick with some papers, and I'll go over it. Thank you. All right, Officer Jackson. So this is the crime that I'm reporting.
Okay.
Okay. I got a phone call at June the 8th, 2021, that my mother was in a coma by her brother, James Berger, a municipal worker in Wildwood, New Jersey. Okay. Here.
And where did this crime happen at?
This crime? Which one?
This one that we're talking about here.
It's a multi-state conspiracy.
Okay.
Just like the crime that I supposedly committed was in Florida when I got a call from him and I got charged with harassment by saying, why can't you get involved in your sister's prosecution? Right. And then that just.
Okay. So there's multiple things going on.
Yeah.
It sounds very complicated. Go ahead.
It's not, because I cracked it. So, you know, I got the guy running for president signed off on it. You ever hear of him, Ron DeSantis?
Yes, I've heard of Ron DeSantis.
Yeah, I got him signed a full governor level investigation, rare, full field investigation. So anyway, what happened was I get a call from James Berger, my mother's brother, okay, saying that my mother was in a coma at a hospital called Advent Health Ocala. What would transpire, I can give you the details later, but what would transpire is that they had to freeze, the nurse tells me that they put her in a targeted hypothermia. It's a temperate management process to preserve brain function. They said it was an 18 to 24-hour process. So I elected to drive, thinking I could make it. About 3 or 4 hours later, they were thawing her out. I said, you told me that this was they said, sir, nobody in your family knew your contact information. I had asked James Berger what time this was. He had said it was at 5 o'clock he found out. I was already initially pissed that it took an hour and 40 minutes, okay? In this time, what got set up was two major crimes, an organ donation transplant fraud with my mother's intended homicide as the consequence, okay? And the attempted embezzlement of her home. It's not the embezzlement per se, it's that, and here's the thing is, they both admit to it, okay? That Terry Smith and her brother James Berger, okay, conspired and said, do not tell George. Do not tell George. At that time, he tries to sell my mother's house to a man named Kenneth Woodward. Okay, he's an octogenarian Air Force veteran who lived across the street.
What's an octogenarian Air Force veteran?
An octogenarian, you don't know what an Air Force veteran is?
I know what the Air Force is, but...
She's a veteran. An octogenarian means you're in your 80s.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Octo 8 generic.
There you go. You got octogenarian.
You said it real fast. Okay.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot there. I want to make sure. I don't know how much time we got. Okay. So anyway, here.
I'm going to tell you what to do. I'm not going to cut you off, so please, I apologize.
No, you're very good, Mr.
Here's what I want you to do.
Yes.
Because there's so much here, and what I would like you to do.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and heed what I'm saying.
I will hear what you're saying.
A lot of names out there.
That's why I said, why don't we sit down and I'll write them down for you. I got the files.
Well, let's take a step back. Okay. Here's what I want you to do.
Yes, sir.
I want you to get out of. You know what a legal pad is?
Yeah.
I want you to write all the stuff on a legal pad.
I got it right here. I got it typed out, lights out. What are you going to do? I'll write it, but I wanted to write it out in front of you, just so there was no misconception.
I want you to read. I don't need to see it right now.
I'll write it out in front of you.
No, I want you to go home and write it out. I want you to sit down.
I already got it written down then. I typed out whatever you want.
I want you to write this out or type it out on a computer.
I got it all. It's right there. It's, I got file typed out by me, typed out by special agents that investigated this. Okay, typed out by cops. Now here's another thing. I just want to tell you one last thing though about this. Here, I got a letter in December. I've been holding it just because I've been seeing a lot of similarities between what was going on down there and what was up here. Never in 38 years. I'm not saying that the police station did this, but they said here for this harassment charge, for some reason they wanted me to have a psychiatric evaluation. Well, what happened was
I'm not a doctor, so
no. Just check this out. Here, when I go to report this at the direction of a governor level agent, he was worried about my safety, and plus he was under HIPAA laws. He said, listen, he couldn't tell no criminal investigators anything, anybody, until it went to prosecution.
Understood.
When it went to prosecution, he said, listen, he's like, I know you want to get some cuffs on this guy. He goes, I can only give a referral on him once there's a conviction. He goes, but until then, what I can do is you lay down all your evidence for the criminal investigators that you think have purview over this. You have them call me, and I'll confirm. I won't give them no details of my investigation until there's but I can confirm that your stuff was good enough for us. He goes, actually, I could tell them a little bit more, an officer of court or an investigator, because they got ethical obligations. Yeah, right. So here, when I go over there, I get detained by these Peckerwoods, okay? They said I said the CIA was harvesting organs. Never said such a thing. Although they're close. But just because a guy's in the CIA doesn't mean that the CIA's harvesting organs. Like if I robbed a Pizza Hut, right. So I never said that at all. Here, I got the paper from the Surgeon General. They never see it. They call up Agent Tanner. They say, yo, is there anything criminal here? He goes, I can't discuss mine. Bang the phone with them. They take me to the same place where they psych frauded my mother, right? Put me in there, said that the old Russian doctor says, oh, you think the CIA is harvesting organs? I said, I never said that. So anyway, he goes, well, here, right, when I told him that, he said, Agent Tanner said there was nothing criminal here. I said, he didn't say that. He sent me there. So they put me in there and they put this psych thing on me. Here, I got a letter from Agent Tanner. He said, and he also wrote in this, this cop wrote, and this has to do with up here. This cop wrote that Mr. Trombetti was intoxicated. Agent Tanner said that he's interfered with government operations, all this, when he's been up to there multiple times and all this. I got a letter from Agent Tanner that we've never physically met. When I told this cop I worked with him for 4 months, I mean, like, in my mom's air conditioner, right? Why is this cop? Well, guess what? When I asked his internal affairs sergeant, the captain, a friend of mine got on the phone and he started saying, yo, why is this man who's lying on him? He's never even met him before. He said, go talk to Joe Berger. Now that was Jim Berger. He corrected himself. He said, is that his? He said, you really need to talk to Joe Berger. Here, I'm finding out the one she conspired with is the one telling everybody that I've been crazy on drugs. There's never been an investigation. Just nobody wants to read nothing. It's not my fault. Now also, here's the thing. That's all.
Remember, I never said any of those.
No, I didn't say you said it. That's what I'm saying.
Carefully.
This is what I'm saying here, real quick.
Sure,
you can take this any way you want this.
I'm going to make a report, but go ahead.
No, listen. No, I'm going to make a report too. But listen, what's going on with my fiance and all this? You'll all know what it is. There ain't a cop in this country who don't know what it is. All right? Okay. All right? You know what I'm talking about? The gang stalk.
Look,
Come on. What's that?
I don't need to.
You don't need what? What? You don't need to be a criminal investigator? You don't need to be a cop? Yo, listen.
No,
here's
I
the problem.
understand what you're saying,
No,
and I get what you're saying, but I have to. I'm trying to.
What?
So what are you saying about?
I'm going to tell you what's going.
Okay, go ahead.
Or what's going on is this is what's happening. This is what's happening. See all this community safety, crime prevention, okay, social justice. Yeah, it's all good. That ain't your fucking job. Uphold the law, okay. Equal in the eyes of the law. Okay, and listen, this is what I'm trying to say too, Jackson. You can tell any of these guys up in here, look, they can gang stalk me all they want. I don't bitch about that. I come over there, I take it.
You never saw me over there, gang.
Listen. No, but listen.
That ain't me.
It's not you, but listen, hold on. You have no obligation to follow an unlawful order. Doesn't matter. That goes for any military hierarchy down. But I'm not saying you. But guess what? If you see something wrong, you have an obligation to report it. Now, what I'm saying is, as even Bell came out and said, we were told, what? There's special directions about when I...
Hey, George, what's up?
Chief, what's going on, buddy?
What's going on, pal?
Congratulations.
Thank you, my friend. Yeah. What's up?
I love your
dog.
uniform.
That's all right.
Yeah, thank you.
What's going on?
Time to make a report.
You made one earlier today.
No, he said that for some reason, I don't know if everybody's fingers are broken. Like he couldn't write it down, so he told me to go write it down. I said I had a copy in my school bag.
Okay.
All over. So then he said he was going, but then he said there was a 30 kid fight over here or something.
Okay.
So, well,
What happens?
yeah, you know, it's not like I've ever been in one there, Chief.
Yeah, we all been there.
Listen, I was just wondering.
Did you write stuff down, or?
I had it typed down, written down, but
Okay.
but it's a multivariate scenario. It's what I've been trying to report, maybe what else needs investigating,
Right.
right, and then it also has to do with maybe a favor that I could see that they say the law enforcement officers do that pertaining elements of this case. I don't know. I've been told that there was Zayner was supposed to look into something, and then Dar seems better now. He seems like he can write down people's names and stuff.
Okay. So what do you have written down?
So,
Like everything.
I brought everything because I couldn't get to something specific like about what we're trying to report and like what's going on, as opposed to like what I know has happened as a crime and what I got
I mean, I get the gist that there's things that are going on or that you're reporting that it had occurred in Florida, right?
Right. But no.
Which would have to fall down there or federal authorities.
Well,
Clearly.
just clearly,
Yes.
but just because something's federal doesn't mean it excludes you.
I understand that.
Right.
Right. Stand under here.
Yes, sir.
No, I understand that, but I'm just letting you know.
Right.
Right.
But what I'm saying is, people like this,
Right.
by your precedent that you set, but they're not arguing the merits of the case, going like this, for like double jeopardy purposes, you could do it that way. You did it, but it's where the assailant's standing. If it push came to shove, like let's say Florida wanted to pick up that harassment on them, right? If it's a crime against somebody else, it's where the person's standing. So in 1968, when they tried Clay Shaw for the murder of John F. Kennedy, he was in New Orleans. He was standing in New Orleans. So what I'm saying is, but even if she died in Florida, it doesn't stop it. Say she didn't die, there's still a crime there. But it's not that; it's the failure to not even investigate, to address my points, or to actually write my name down on a report, or write the victim or the assailant.
Yeah, but your name is on all the reports that we have so far.
Yeah, but that's how my fault that he doesn't. Well, Gars, it's you, because Gars doesn't write the names down, but
what I'm telling you
it's
is
approved by you.
the incident was first.
Right. Well, what I'm saying is, why is it whenever me and my fiance, and HLA has been wanting to know this too, they can't really believe that this is happening. The Hearing Loss of America is that when we're trying to report crimes, that they just can't, like, I mean, statistically, how many high-end felonies being reported, regardless if you found out that there was merit behind them or not, go without the victim? What are you saying? And the guy's got 2 school bags full of materials that could be qualified as evidence, and some of them were signed off by a man running for president of the United States.
Who signed off on
Ron DeSantis. But here's the thing, even though it was an administrative hearing, 80% of all high-end felonies in a clinical background, but this happened before that happened.
All right, listen, this is what I want you to do.
Yes.
I want you to gather all your thoughts. Don't hand me, I don't want 1,000 different notebooks of different stuff. I want you to chronologically, legibly type out, or whatever the case may be, everything instead of just bits and pieces of everything. And then I will read it, what you're putting down. I will read it personally.
Yes.
And then I will see where it needs to go. Okay? Do you understand?
Yeah.
Okay.
What are you saying that? Oh yeah, I don't care.
I will see
Right.
where it would need to go, where you would need to address it overly. Because the things that you're alleging that occurred in Florida.
No, I'm saying things that happen on Priscilla Lane. I don't mean to get upset, but it's just like you're failing to understand this, Chief.
Yeah, because you're all over the place a little bit.
Listen,
I mean, it's,
listen. I don't think I'm all over the place. I'm standing.
I know, but when you're speaking, you're jumping from a lot of different things.
That's because what happened was because of the abandonment of what the priorities, what the functions of law enforcement is, and we're doing everything else like we're doing crime prevention and community safety, instead of upholding the law.
Okay. All right.
Right.
So that's what I want you to do.
Well, listen.
Okay.
Never mind what you want me to do.
No, I'm requesting you to do that so I can try and see if what we can do for you.
Listen, I'm trying to tell you. Well, first of all, how about why can't we just, if I can sit down and then somebody can take the report, okay? So I gotta write it out myself, fine. But this is what I'm trying to establish here. Listen, the crime happens in Florida, that element, okay, could be one kind of scenario. Say my mother didn't die. While standing in Albany, Terry Smith tries to embezzle and frauds the hospital. She says that we don't have the contact information and tells everybody in the family not to tell me. My mother deteriorates in that time.
Okay.
So I even tried to tell Rosen, he came out there. I said, well, look,
That was from the district attorney's office.
I even said to him, I said, look, I'm not trying to be hypocritical.
Which they are the prosecuting authority in our county.
Right,
So I'm just letting you know that they are the presiding.
I know, but,
Right.
but Rosen even says, and he comes out and tells me, no, you're right about the jurisdiction, it's where you're standing. I said, yeah, I don't hear it from you, Rosen, because my whole thing is, I'm telling Giuliello, he's not a lawyer, like, so can we get somebody in there to make a ruling on it? So, but Rosen said, no, you're right. So what I'm saying is, but the same principle, you charged me with harassment when I was down there. When they initiated the call, Jimmy Berger did. And that's my other, that's my request.
Right. That was harassment by communication, and it was only that one. And we did the filing documents because she received the text messages here.
Right, but just real quick, just do it, establish that.
I got you.
If I was standing here and I shot a guy in Clifton, and he died, he drives himself to Delaware County Hospital and dies.
Listen, I understand.
It's where you're standing is
I understand
priority.
what you're saying. With certain things, not everything.
No, but a violent crime against
So
a
that's
person.
listen. That's what I'm requesting you do
Okay.
to help me, so I can
Yes,
attempt
sir.
to help you. Okay.
All right, yes, sir.
All right. Chronologically, everything typed out. All right. Take your time.
I got it, but I'll specify more. Yeah.
Take your time with it. So we have just one whole thing with everything chronologically, what you are saying has occurred and may or may not be continuing to occur. Okay, because I don't know if anything's still going on.
Well, the
You know what I'm
related
saying?
issues, but this is not as much of a complaint as can you look into this for me? Listen, this guy who was standing at my grandmother seen him at my mother's house. His name's Roger Lucas. Okay, he's an associate of the guy that was prosecuted. I was fixing the air conditioner unit. My grandmom's 91 years old. They isolated her. By connecting Roger Lucas to the man that Jimmy tried to. See, I don't think she was in the preliminaries of this knowing about the murder. I think she was just being an opportunistic scumbag. But he was in it from the beginning.
Who's
Jimmy.
she? Who are you talking
Terry Smith.
Terry, okay.
So what I'm saying is, look, I'd be willing to let a lot of bygones be bygones if we can get this. My grandmom, he's barring my grandmom from making a statement. Now what I'm saying is, he's harassing me by me standing here in Albany, just like the same thing with Terry.
He is
James Berger.
the guy who was fixing the air conditioner.
No, James Berger is Terry's brother. A guy who was fixing air conditioners, his name's Roger Lucas. Either his uncle, his father-in-law, or his stepfather. He's a descendant, but not a direct descendant, but an obituary. Is business partners with the guy who got prosecuted for my mother's homicide, the clinical homicide. Okay, so it's a homicide.
All right. That's what I need you to do. Take your time with it, though. Okay.
Okay.
Take your time with it.
I
And drop it off for me, and I will read it personally. Not any of these other guys, me. Okay.
Okay,
Right.
but listen. But here's the thing: if there is high felonies, why is it? What's the protocol for why is it even Bell said that there was special things and requests about handling any cases that I was reporting. That's what he said. And what did Zaner?
I don't know what you're referring to. I don't know anything about
Zaner, and how about Zaner said he was going to look into this? I'm not saying he did. I talked to him today.
Right.
Well, Dave Smith threatened to beat her. I know he was probably meant it for me to beat her to death with a baseball bat. He's not charged at all. And
Okay.
his
Well,
wife-
I don't know anything about him threatening you, her.
Yes, that's who he
Okay.
threatened. He called her
Okay.
up.
All right,
I
well,
think
why
he
didn't
meant-
she come up and make a statement?
Because the last 2 times she tried to make a statement, she wasn't allowed. She wasn't permitted to.
Why not?
When the door got kicked in, because they blamed me for the thing. When the bricks went through the window, they said I slashed the tire. Even if that was true, which it's not, I can't see
Oh,
how
that was
there-
with your neighbor. That's somebody
Right.
different.
There's somebody different.
Right.
I said the 2
Okay.
other times
All
she
right.
tried to report
This
it.
is okay.
All right.
This is what I need. Just do what I asked you to do.
You want everything.
I want everything
All right.
chronologically, so I can read through it. Okay.
Yes, sir.
And then we will see. I will try and see where we can direct this thing. Okay.
And if you have
All right.
oversight over it, then you'll do it, right?
Oversight to what?
Any crimes that happened in Alden.
Well, it goes to the district attorney's office.
Yeah, but you investigated
Listen to
first.
me.
Right.
But it goes through the district attorney's office. They are the prosecutors for the county.
Right.
Oh, they preside over every town.
I know that.
Right?
I know that.
Okay, all right.
But you're saying that you would take it to the prosecutors before you investigate it? Is that what you're saying?
No, what I'm saying is I will read it, and then we will see where it's going to go.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
On our end, we have certain things that how we do things. No one dictates to us how we do it.
No,
You understand what I'm saying to you?
Well,
All right, no. No one dictates to us how we do it. And I'm telling you that if I read through it and then I present it to the district attorney's office to read through it and see what they say, then that's the route it goes.
oh yeah, you're just saying for an interpretation of law, then, right? Is that what you're
I'm
saying?
saying that they are the prosecutors.
I got that.
They are the prosecutors that prosecute cases.
I understand
And if they
that.
turn around and say this doesn't fall under our county jurisdiction, then it has to go somewhere else.
No,
Okay?
listen,
Right.
about that is fine. I'm saying that you would investigate it before you turned it up there to see if it actually happened. She's saying, yeah, I did say this.
No. You're missing. Do what I asked you to do first.
All right.
I will read through it, and then I will confer with the district attorney's office, with the criminal investigation division of the district attorney's office.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Very good. And
Because we all work hand in hand.
no, I know that.
That's the way it goes. Whether your interpretation of how it should be or shouldn't be is irrelevant. It's how it is. Okay.
No, I actually would be saying that to you. That's what I'm trying to say is that
Right.
there's a standard there.
Right.
I'm not dictating it. I'm not
Don't tell
dictating
me
it.
what our standard is. I'm asking you to do what I asked you to do,
No, I understand.
so I can read through it and make sense of
I got
everything
you.
that you've
Chief.
been reporting.
All right, yes, Chief.
Okay.
But here's the thing: you're forgetting one thing. You serve me, not vice versa.
No, I know, but
Okay.
I'm asking you
I
to
got
help
you.
me help you.
Right, I got you.
Right.
But
But don't dictate to me
I'm not. But
who
if
I
there's-
present it to.
No, I wasn't dictating to you. I was
What you're
asking.
saying.
No, I was asking you. Are you going to investigate? All right, I got what you're saying now. Yeah, I
That's
appreciate
all
it.
part of it.
I appreciate
All
it.
part of it.
Thank you, sir.
And now, hold on, real quick. You,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
What issues are you having that you're not allowed to report?
Well, I mean, a brick got thrown through our window,
Okay.
and there's a bunch of cops outside of the house already, and we went to go report it, and there was
You wanted to
nothing
report
done
somebody
about
threw a
it.
brick through your
And
window,
then
right?
our door
came
got
with
kicked
Bill.
in by
Huh?
somebody
Came
else,
with Bill.
and they
Do
basically
you guys have like ring camera or anything?
said it was
I got that on video.
mutual.
I got
Like,
the whole thing with Bell on video.
No. Who threw the brick through the window?
It's either no, they're still standing there. It's either him or the mother. I guess. I can't.
No, what I'm saying is, do you have video of somebody throwing the brick through the window?
No, I got the video right afterwards,
Okay.
and then Bell.
Do you have like a ring camera?
actually,
and all
the
that
video,
stuff?
the camera might have picked it up.
Right.
I think when
Believe
they
me,
did it, it
if
was
somebody throws a brick
nighttime,
through your
but
window and you got
still.
video of it, we're gonna lock them up.
Oh no,
It's that simple.
No, we got them. You can see the person out the window. Right as I go out to address them, Bell comes pulling up in the car,
Right.
almost in
But that
tandem.
was after the brick was thrown through the window.
Not yes, but it was almost as almost within I say a minute of me walking out.
All right.
Almost like
Okay.
all right.
Do yourselves a favor though. Get like a ring camera
Yeah.
or something like that.
Right.
Put it up out front of your house and out back of your house. You know what I'm saying? Or something. I
Right.
mean, that way if somebody's messing with you guys, we're gonna have it all on video.
Yeah, but
You know what I
here's
mean?
the thing. Don't you? You've been getting ring cameras from other people when it's like the township driver, like the hate crime that I was reporting to HLA about them. Like there's two directional speakers pointed at our house. I don't know what that's about.
Directional speakers?
Yeah, one you can see the line going through the fence. Right, I was talking to our audiologist. He said, "Look, it's definitely a fabricated sound." He's like, "But I can't really testify to that because you recorded it." So he's like, "It's not one of my recordings, so I can't." He's like, "Yes."
That's the first I'm hearing anything like that.
You know what? For the town, you know what? The town watch to get guy. I know he's 200 years old. It's time to retire him because he can't see. And that lady justice, that bitch got eyes.
Right,
She's
I
like,
know. All right, George.
All
You're
right.
gonna do that for me, right? Yeah.
What's the deadline I come in?
There is no deadline.
The-
When you get it done, take your time with it.
Yeah, I
Make
know.
sure.
That's Raymond Flanagan truck. Out there had the thing beeping, had the dog all, this other dog all barking. Now, they got there. They blocked my driveway, right? But nothing coming out. Nothing. Cones are up. All right, let's just see. Hey, how are you? Did Mr. John Gould of Emergency Management in Clifton Heights have any lawful purpose with your borough over on Schisler Avenue today?
John Gould.
people. I don't know who that is.
He's code enforcement and he has emergency management.
No, there's
At Clifton
nobody
Heights.
by that name in Albany.
No, in Clifton Heights. You
Right.
know how you guys will
Oh,
do
yeah.
co-operations with
Yeah.
that? Do you guys do any co-operations with Clifton Emergency Management?
Not that I know of. That'd be out of my scope of my duties. Seriously, I don't know.
No.
I don't know the name, and I don't.
That's-
That's usually on the borough level with the borough government.
Right. Which I thought you were part of the borough government, but I just wanted to know if you knew.
Well,
I
I
was-
mean,
yeah.
in a sense, not to discredit what you're saying. In a sense, yes, the Alden Police are part of borough government, but as far as emergency management, that's handled at a different level.
All right.
So I'm at level 1. Emergency management would be, say, level 5.
Okay.
Just for an example.
Very good. But that's actually what the nature of this inquiry is that, as I was telling you, I was a little out of proportion. They said because there's so much time going lapse, it was advised to me that I should report the more recent and smaller stuff first to see what the disposition of what you guys are before I go, since I've already attempted several times. Not to say that I won't, and I still got the document,
Sure.
but they said to do that.
Okay, who's they?
What? Well, it was a consensus of a small coalition. But now, here's the thing. It's just
Who's the small coalition?
it's my attorney up here, a special agent in Florida.
Well, I'm glad you said attorney. Because when you say attorney, at that point I can't talk to you.
No, that's
When you
not.
say attorney?
No, I'll first of all, I'll waive. Go ahead.
But you would have to talk to Sergeant Capola about that because he's my supervisor. He's working right now.
Well, I'd rather. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
If you want to talk to him, I would surely let you talk to him. However,
Yes.
in the consensus of helping you out the best way I can right now at this point,
Right.
if you have a question about somebody from Clifton Heights, I would address it with them.
I did. I addressed it with them first, and they said that no, they didn't officially, but
They didn't officially do what?
they didn't officially sanction
Who said
this.
that? in Clifton Heights?
The woman who answered the phone today at the administration office.
Okay,
You can call her.
You would have to talk to the
Well, they
to
took
the
my.
chief of police or somebody. over
She
there,
said, or the
or
borough
the
manager,
sergeant.
or the borough manager.
Or the
'cause
borough
it's-
manager,
right.
correct.
And I said, listen, I'm going to make if you can make a notation of it in case it happens again, because this is why. And I was getting to that. When I was a government witness in Florida, there was a harassment that I had to report by emergency management. Now,
Florida.
in Florida,
Okay.
yes, but the network that I can connect it from here to there, okay, just like any kind of
Sure.
interstate criminal organization, whether or not there's badges involved, hey, that's, can't be, it's been done before. That just like the town council here is uses private sector advisors to get grant money, okay, and I think I'm almost positive they're being advised.
So let me ask you a question.
Go ahead, yes.
Let me ask you a question. What is your goal that you're trying to achieve? What is the main principle? Let's forget about all the.
No, that's listen.
What's no. Tell me what your goal is, because if I can tell your goal, if I know what your goal is, maybe, just maybe, I can help you.
Listen,
reach
if you would
your goal.
if you would accept evidence from me and stop saying no, come back, and just deny it and say, oh, I don't want this and I don't want that. If you were to actually, with the equality of law, and just actually serve me.
So what evidence do you have to show me today?
I have.
I mean, you brought up an attorney, so I really can't talk to you.
No, listen. First of all, here.
Who's your attorney?
First of all, I waive. So there you go. I'm an adult. I waive. Okay. Secondly, there's no case here. I'm allowed to get counsel from anybody I
Okay,
want.
let's
I'm not
go
saying
back.
he's acting in my behalf.
Understood.
All right. Very good
Let's
then.
get to it clean. Let's get to it. Just you
Listen.
don't have to get excited. You see how calm I am, right?
Look.
You should be as calm as I am.
Well, listen, here's the thing. No, I shouldn't be. Because what happened is that, once again, okay, my mother was killed. The person was standing right there when they actually
This
committed.
was in Florida.
No, the crime, they were standing right there in Priscilla Lane. Unless that's Florida or Priscilla Lane there, then no.
Okay.
The criminal. See, if you were human, if you were
I am
protect,
human, but
if you were human protective services, okay, where your goal was to protect people, then you would be like where the victim was as priority. But since you're criminal law enforcement, that's priority.
When did this happen?
Okay, but what? That crime? That's what I'm getting at. You asked me a question about what my goal is.
Okay, so
my goal is this. The most.
are you trying to find out who killed your mother? Is that what's going on?
I know who killed my mother. Okay, but I can. There's actually entities. Yes, there's the architectural level, there's the managerial level, and then there's the worker level. I know exactly who did it at the two lower levels. The managerial level is the ones who actually executed
that's
it.
in the stuff that you.
What?
Well, let me tell them now.
Listen, I real quick. Let me tell you this.
4326.com.
I submitted a 185-page report about the organ donation, transplant, and fraud.
Hold me out at 4390 with a walk-up with a conspiracy issue.
A conspiracy issue? Yes, is there? Listen,
That's how you're explaining it to me.
the man running for United States president, and I got it signed off
Who is that?
on my conspiracy.
Which president?
When it reached the highest milestone a governor level investigation could go to, and I have the document right here. So yes, it was a conspiracy, and they signed off on it. Full governor level, rare, full field.
This is the stuff you're going to show Chief Development.
I'll show any officer who's willing to take evidence, which you obviously aren't, because you're getting your advisements.
I'm just a patrolman. I mean,
You can still collect evidence.
Okay, well, when you get all that stuff together,
I got it all together. I've had it together for 2 years, and I've tried to.
Where is it at right now at this point?
I got it in my phone, in my backpack. I got it right here at the top of my head.
Okay.
So
They gave you a statement?
who?
Whoever?
I got more statement. Listen, why don't you
They
just?
gave you a statement.
Why don't you listen to this? Why don't you listen to this? Okay. After my mother, okay, was killed, her clinical homicide, okay, which I established that night when I walked into that ICU and said that the legal custodian of the federally contracted organ procurement organization agent was, yeah, he might be legal custodian, but he was unlawfully facilitated. I won that. I got a voicemail from the ICU doctor who kicks the man off the job. Six weeks later, I find a packet of Humana Medicare papers virtually outlining my mother's clinical murder schematic. I investigated for 6 months by myself, and I turn it all over.
That's honorable.
I turn it all over to the Florida Department of Health, okay, which after a month of review in Tallahassee, okay, they didn't know that they thought they might not have purview over murder cases. But then Surgeon General Lapido's medical consult said, yes, it happened. Unanimous opinion for a rare governor-sanctioned full field investigation. Ron DeSantis, running for United States president. Now, Agent Fleck at Tallahassee says, I see a handful of these, George, in 2 decades here. We don't do these much. Never for nothing like this. And then with the medical malpractice investigator, Special Agent Robert Tanner, and the Alachua Bureau of Enforcement Investigative Services, Florida Department of Health. For 4 months, he investigated my homicide complaint attached to the 185-page report, okay? Then 4 months confirmed. Then it passed the legal review of the prosecutorial services unit, and the federally contracted redneck registered nurse that killed my mom got prosecuted for it. And a prosecution that's penal in nature. Okay? Now, 80% of all high-end felonies that are committed in a clinical background automatically get deferred to the administrative investigators. Like, you guys don't even know how to do your own job, let alone how would you investigate an organ transplant fraud. But luckily they had me, because why? I have the longest, most extensive notation of any next of kin organ medical directive giver in Florida organ donation history. And if Guinness Book kept the record, it might be the country. No, I won't slow down. So listen, I got it.
You're gonna have to. If you want to talk to me, you got to slow down.
So listen. So here's what happened. So now I got all that. Okay. Then what happened was, when it went to prosecution on April 20th, I got a call from Special Agent Tanner. For 4 months, he couldn't admit that there was an investigation. He called me up. He said, I can finally admit.
And that's Florida.
Yes, he's in Florida.
I'm just trying to.
Right.
You got a lot of moving parts here.
Of course, because there's a lot of things going on. Yeah, you're absolutely right. So I got all the evidence right here. So what he said was, he said, listen to me. You go and you show any criminal investigator who has purview at any component of this case. You lay down your evidence as you did for us. You show him. He says, I can't give details, but I will confirm.
Our investigator's not here.
Listen to me. Any officer can collect evidence. But what I'm saying is too, if you want to go by this rule, I mean, I really don't want to hear law from a cop. I don't want to be hypocritical. But Rosen already said it, but I don't want to hear from him. But he agreed with me. Listen, for jurisdictional purposes, okay, if for double jeopardy were to apply, listen, it's where the person is standing, especially for a crime against another human. So it doesn't matter. Like he says, well, I'll defer to because they're the prosecuting authority there. Well, he can defer wherever he wants. It doesn't say that he should.
I'm not familiar with that, but enlighten me.
Listen, where you're standing at, like I said, you're not protective services where you're
That's correct.
You can do it.
Not protected.
Right, so you can do it where the victim is, like he did it, like when Zavello did it with me for asking my aunt to get involved in the prosecution of the guy who was being prosecuted for homicide. Right, so he said, I was standing in Florida, so I have severity of crime, okay, which is exploitation of a vulnerable adult, possibly some kind of variation of felony murder rule, okay? Now I have just because she died, that compounded it. That doesn't necessarily mean if she didn't die, say even if she didn't die, it's still a crime.
So you said a lot of things. Can I just talk for a second?
Absolutely.
Let me just get a word in or two. So you've said a lot of things.
Yes.
And to be honest with you, a lot of it I'm completely unfamiliar with. Hold on.
Because you won't take no evidence.
I am unfamiliar with. Okay. This kind of situation, there's a lot of moving parts to what you're saying.
On what?
Everything that I've told you.
You're 100% right on. What have you told me?
What I've told you is that if there is a person
Yes.
who you're accusing, which is an accusation,
Absolutely.
you have to provide evidence for
I
that.
have it all right here in my book bag.
Okay. That has to be presented to an investigator. He and I are not investigators.
Guess what? Yes, you're absolutely right about that. But guess what? You can still collect the evidence.
And I'm telling you how to get that evidence to us.
Okay.
Collect it all together, put whatever videographic evidence you have on the U.S. George, we're over
Yes,
here.
I
Over
hear
here.
you.
Stop looking away.
Listen, I hear you, but you're not addressing. I hear what you're saying. You're straw man arguing it. I agree with you.
Not strong, man. I'm telling you facts, George.
Hey, listen to me. They could be your facts, but they're not addressing my problem as well. Yes, I heard
Well,
you.
if you would listen to me, it would address your
Giving us all the facts of what you're saying. That's what we're telling you to do.
We're
Everything that
telling
you
you
have
how
in
to
your
get
phone-
it to us.
Listen to me. Everything you have in your phone, put that on a USB port, a USB.
Right.
Okay.
Listen, the videos make up a small percentage in the documents.
That's fine.
I have it right
That's
here.
fine. Whatever you have.
That's fine.
Okay.
Crime starts somewhere.
Yeah,
Why?
have to
Listen,
start
you
from
said.
there.
All right, so you
You
have
have
it.
to start.
So
Right,
get us
so
somewhere.
Listen,
Give us the
I
videographic.
got hard copies on me right now to get you started. See, if you want to call the investigator so he can confirm what happened to my mom down there, and then you can see
I'm not gonna
what.
call him.
He
Let
would
me
contact us if something
That's
happens.
exactly right.
No.
How this works is,
Listen to me.
how
Hold
this
on.
works is, if there's a problem down in Florida and that person is here, they have to issue some kind of a warrant, some kind of a cause,
They would contact
some kind
us.
of a writ, something.
Here's the thing.
You
Yes.
have that in your hand.
But when you
no,
got,
no, no, look at
hold
me.
on, listen. Hey,
No. You
I
listen
got
to
it.
me.
I got
George,
it.
Listen to me. Do you have a writ?
From
Do you have a
judge?
warrant?
From a judge? From a judge.
Right, that's where writs come from, George.
From a judge. Oh, pertaining what?
Everything you're telling me.
No.
Accusations.
Yeah, yes,
They're
no,
accusations.
I have it from this. Not if it's going to a panel for prosecution.
I don't know nothing about that panel. Show me that panel. I need names, dates, and times.
I'm trying to answer you now. Will you listen
Okay.
to me? Listen
Well,
to
if
me.
you listen to me, then we'll listen to you.
Okay, and I heard you, and I'm not
Okay.
saying it, but you only addressed a portion of it. I have a special agent because of HIPAA laws. Okay, he says he can talk to you guys more than he can even talk to
Then
me.
have him contact.
and
us.
Hold on, may I
Investigate.
may I finish? He says, okay, but he can't share details of his investigation with you. This is what he said. Give them my contact information.
Okay, where's that contact?
I got it right here. He said, have them call me, and I can confirm that there's a whole governor level investigation on your complaint, and it was good enough
And
for
where's
us.
the complaint at?
I got it right
This
here.
is the one in Florida.
Yes.
Okay, that's
but
out of our jurisdiction.
no, it's
Let
not.
Florida handle
No, it's not. I'm not reporting. The victimization happened in Florida. The crime happened right there. Just like Zavello set the precedent in reverse, which Rosen said I was right about when it was deferred to there. Rosen
Who's
said,
Rosen?
the chief detective up at CID. He said, George, okay,
I don't know of any chief. Yeah, I don't know.
CID detective Rosen. He's the chief investigator for with Lithgow for the DA's office up there.
I don't know. But I don't know the other guy.
Rosen came out to me and he said like this, and after Lithgow lied as well and said about tried to pull the same things, I called the Department of Health right there. They said, listen, okay, we are a law enforcement agency. If they think that you were in any way forging these papers, because it's an official document, if it has the seal of the governor and the surgeon general on there, okay, I can hand it to anybody. And if you think that it's been forged in any way, but because of HIPAA laws, he said if worst comes to absolute worst, okay, he goes, if you feel that they're, that they're actually doing it, but if they're just trying to spin, okay, and they're not going to collect evidence, he said, have them look at the evidence first. Have them call me. But if they look at the evidence, then I can have him call yous. But if you're refusing to take it, that's going to show you because why? Because it's my mom who died, and for HIPAA laws, if they would have won the prosecution, but because it went to the prosecution, he can confirm that there was a full level investigation, which I had the documents of. And you could call anybody to confirm if they're real or not. I don't know why you're putting me through this unnecessary burden.
Or anything.
Listen, I have
us through it.
No, I have documents saying, but listen, but here's where Rosen said, he said, you're right. He said, you're right. It's where you're standing at. Now, the crime happened there.
Here's what we'll do. You get a hold of Rosen, and
Have
you have him contact our investigator, and that's how we'll handle it.
Listen, why can't you just take the documents and this
You're
evidence?
saying Rosen, and I want to hear from what he has to say because you're saying what he said, and I want to know what I want to hear from Rosen.
Why do I have to do? I've done enough of your guys' job. Why don't you call? I'm reporting a crime. I'm reporting a crime here. My aunt was exploited an elder. Why she's standing in Alden? Please. What?
Who's he again?
She is my aunt, Terry Smith. Okay, she commits several felonies while standing in Alden. Okay, where the victim is secondary. You guys are criminal. Okay, law enforcement.
We can't pick people up without warrants.
I didn't say pick.
Kidnapping.
No, I didn't say pick somebody up. I said first of all, if you had probable cause,
we'll look into
you could.
it. We'll look into it.
Okay.
I will give you the benefit of the doubt.
Okay,
like
so and I'll give you the documentation. And if you want to go confirm something or call, okay, then at least I could say at least they took the documentation. Why aren't you taking the evidence to just see that? Yes.
Where's this documentation at?
I got it here. I got it there. And listen, I will do the USB thing, but in the meantime,
here's what I want you to do.
Why can't I email you? Why are you preventing me from sending you emails?
Okay, email it.
Okay.
Don't email it to me. I don't want it. I'm not an investigator.
But you can give it to the proper. Listen,
I'm telling you who to give it to.
Who? Zavilla?
No.
Who?
Investigator Hollabaugh.
He should be in tomorrow morning if you want to come in. Or
Hollabaug's the tall one with the glasses, right?
That's correct.
He's the one who now you can ask him because he's the worst. He's the one who said any officer can collect evidence. He said that to me. Okay, right there. He said that's when I was bitching about Doris. Wouldn't write the victim's name down. Wouldn't write this. And he said, "Oh, has evidence of his mom's murder?" I said homicide, but yeah, it could be if you want to consider it like that. Felony murder rule. But okay, that's what I'm saying is you're refusing to collect the evidence. Why? I have, okay, and then after it happens, there are interstate conspiracies where certain components are here.
Deal with interstate.
You don't deal with a lot of shit you should be dealing with, obviously, Officer Jackson.
Thank you very much.
Okay, but you're two cops that are refusing. And listen, I know what. Listen, look, here's the thing. You think because I'm blackballed from getting legal representation? Look. It's listen.
That's something I know nothing about.
Yes, you do. But all right, listen. Okay, and how about I'm reporting for my fiance? Okay, how about Dave Smith threatening? Okay, he said he kicked it up to his superior. I don't know who that. Who's Zayner's superior? Right above him, you? Right?
On the street working, it would be the police chief.
Well, right. He said He said he kicked it up, like his next up.
And he didn't kick it to me. Because I didn't talk to him.
Well, he's your subordinate, right, Zayner? He told me, and she says, she goes, instead of telling me why this man isn't arrested, okay, I said, you heard what he said, okay, she goes, I'll go get my sergeant. She tries to make no explanation. He gets Zayner. Zayner says to me, I'm going to look into it to see about John White. Now, yes, you can't.
Then that's Zayner. That's Zayner. That's not
okay,
me.
Then I talked to Zayner the other night. He said, I kicked it up. I said, to who? He said, my superior above me. Okay, he's right above him. Because I said Zavello, he said, no, my superior above me. So that I thought you. But if you're saying no now that's an inquiry. What, do I have to investigate that too? Why was the crime that we reported? Okay. Like,
I don't know who Zayner talked to.
He's saying his superior.
I get that.
How many
is
there?
Know. I get that.
Okay.
But he could have talked to me. He could have talked to the police chief. I have no idea.
So he could have talked to you, you're saying?
No, he didn't talk to me. He could have talked. I'm saying the two options were he could have went to me as a supervisor,
right,
and he could have went above me to the police chief.
What?
But he didn't go to me, so I can't speak for him for what he said.
Zavello said he didn't know what I was talking about either. Yes.
Okay.
So why is But you're the ones who are not in the know about your own operation. You guys, I'm reporting a crime. I reported it. It's okay. I reported it to her. Then I reported it to Zaner. Zaner's here the other night. And then, like, the incident the other night, like, that wasn't, like being coerced.
What incident the other night?
When I got arrested, not that I'm really saying anything about that, but this is what happened. And here, that's why they had to ask him twice. The guy said, no, it's not him, okay? Zaner went and put me up under the light. He goes, no, it's a bigger man. I can tell the man was wearing a mask. Then the Clifton cop.
Let's just stop right there. Yeah,
way
stop
off
right
top.
there.
Now we're way off topic.
You asked, and I said about Zaner.
I wasn't sure exactly.
Given the context of when I got the last information from Zaner.
That's Zaner.
Yeah, but listen, if I make a report, and just because you got some of your officers, I'm not saying you, Coppola, but Jackson, if you're now, I don't know if you're not. This is the second time. Now you told me to have the documents right, and you would accept them.
Right.
Here they are.
If you go in that bag, I'm going to search your bag.
Go ahead. You search my bag. Oh, under what probable cause?
Because I don't know if you have a weapon in there. So I'm
That's fair enough. That's fair enough.
Together, and then you can why give it one paper here, one paper here? Get the USB and give it all to us at one time.
Listen to me, but that's not how it has to be. Okay, why do it that way? I've been trying to report. It's getting more and more and more. So by the time I get all that on there, you guys all have another handful of violations and crimes.
That's how it's going to be, George.
No, it's very important to you. So get it to us.
Why? Okay.
Tomorrow when you get or tonight, whenever you get
He told me the last time to have the documents ready for me.
In your hand.
I'll put them in my hand. Or you go ahead, search the bag then. Okay? All right? Go ahead. You want to search the bag? I'll just do it. But then if I take them out. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's right.
I could just all leave it for whatever.
Yeah, but then you're refusing it. Yeah, well, then you could take it, and I'm not saying you have to investigate it. Take it and give it, and I got more, but to start off with, just to show you that at least, like, Doris didn't even write my mom's name down, didn't write Terry Smith's name down.
All notarized and stuff?
Not all of it, but the shit from the Department of Health, of course, is. Then there's
see the department.
Then there's even, they did the criminal investigation. It's just penal in nature. 80% of all
criminal investigation that we didn't do. It doesn't.
No.
What do we have to do with it?
If there's, listen to me, if there's a conspiracy with interstate players and there's a component here, right? Like, listen, hypothetically, if I were to call my buddy in Collingdale and say, let's go beat up Sergeant Coppola, hypothetically, okay? If he's standing in Collingdale, right?
Yes. Put this stuff together.
I got it right here.
I got to go to an emergency.
All right. All right, if it's an emergency, it's an emergency.
I do have to go. You do first.
All right, come on, real quick. You gotta go real quick.
We have to go to the call.
Okay,
So
just between me and this. I'm not here.
No, good.
Officer Harbaugh, they told me that you were the one that you were capable of. You're an investigator.
I am.
Okay, so you're qualified to do a felony, to take evidence, and to make a report. All right, very good. This is what it is. Now, I know you're only a cop, so I wouldn't expect you to know the law, but I don't want to be a hypocrite about this. The first thing I'm going to report, the first thing first. Miss Tree Smith, while standing in Alden, okay, right, interfered. She exploited an elderly. She committed a fraud against me, a conspiracy to commit against me with her brother, interstate, on the phone, who's in New Jersey. She's standing in Alden, okay? Here's all the evidence. She admits to it. Now, as an effect, like an actual physical effect, it contributed to my mother dying. But I'm not saying about the homicide itself. I don't know if you can make some kind of felony murder rule out of that. Like, if I were to rob a 7-Eleven and the clerk were to shoot at me and he would miss and it would go through the window and hit some kid, that would be me that would be responsible.
In a way, roundabout way.
Well, yeah, in the commission of another felony.
Contribution to it, yeah.
Well, if you're doing another high-end felony and somebody dies in it, that's a felony murder rule. Okay, very good. Now, just I don't know any case law on it. In 1968, they prosecuted a man named Clay Shaw in Louisiana.
Okay.
All right, for the murder of John F. Kennedy. Okay, he was standing in Louisiana 2 months earlier, just for talking about it. Okay, so now what I'm saying is, when it all comes down to it, if I'm standing here and I shot somebody in Clifton, okay, and you guys in the hospital dies in Darby, you could do it that way. And what it is, it's concurrent jurisdictions. But somebody can pick it up, especially if the other ones are not yielding to. But she's standing in Alden.
Okay.
Now I'm saying, Chief Civiello, when he was Sergeant Detective Civiello, he set the precedent that you guys do prosecute and arrest for these interstate crimes. Because I was arrested for one harassment in Florida, which I could say that they initiated. So, can I say, why isn't there any investigation going on to this if I'm trying to report it? Or is this the first time you're hearing about this?
This is the first time I'm hearing about it.
All right.
There's been no evidence even brought to our police department.
Oh no, that's wrong.
Other than police reports.
No, I got videotapes of me bringing evidence, and I got Jackson twice, Coppola once. I got Doris not even writing down. Have you ever heard in all your years of somebody getting a homicide report? They said he wrote murder, and he writes neither the assailant's name down nor the victim's name down, and refuses evidence. Have you ever heard of that?
No.
Okay. Well, he did that. Okay, I got that on video. All right, just like I got. Oh, I'm not gonna go through all the administrative bullshit because I'll take that up with Chief Civiello. I'm saying, Trace Smith. Now I got.
What's the first name?
Therese.
Therese
Smith.
Is it Teresa?
No.
Or Therese.
Therese Smith. She's my mother's older sister. Okay. She would actually conspire with her brother James Berger, who I know to be a murderer.
What's his name?
His name's James F. Berger. Okay, his name's James F. Berger. He's a municipal Wildwood, he's like an emergency management or sewer type. Right. He's down there Wildwood. For 10 hours on him and about 7.5 hours on her, and she admits to it, that they would actually conceal the fact that my mother was in the hospital, and she even admits that, yeah, I said not to tell you, while he tries to embezzle her house from New Jersey. But she was the one that coordinated this whole keeping it and concealing it from me for 10 hours. In that time, my mother rapidly deteriorates. But still, I'm still standing in Alden, okay? And I'm the next of kin. That's exploitation, financial exploitation, taking advantage of a disadvantaged person, fraud, attempted embezzlement. Now, look, it's concurrent jurisdictions. She's standing there. I mean, so I just want to know if she admits to it. See, and there's the thing. It's like I did bring evidence. I got evidence of me bringing evidence over here. On top of that, it was confirmed the homicide. Now, here's the thing. I'm not saying she was actively in the premeditation parts of this, but I got evidence, okay, that she's conspiring with James Berger, who's conspiring with the man who found my mother's body. He's a octogenarian Air Force veteran named Kenneth Woodward, okay? They try to, now they're all like Air Force and defense contractors. You can see they try to embezzle her house other than James Berger. His son, James L. Berger, he's a defense he's a Air Force. Kevin Woodward, he's a defense contractor, and he's a former Air Force veteran. Now, and this kid Gargano, he's a pederast. That's my cousin's cousin. They're all involved. They're all actually, and what happens is where there's another commonality is, it seems that here, Zahner, he said he was supposed to, when I came to get the tape, back in, Dave Smith, Trace Smith's husband, will actually call her phone up and say that, and threaten to beat her to death with a baseball bat. Okay? He said he was coming down there. She calls the cops on him. The female comes up there, right, to 7, and he's yelling his wife calls the cops on him. Your female officer comes up there. And I said, well, look, if he's going to come down at my, and you guys ain't going to do nothing, can I step in the grass with him and mutual combatants? Because, you know what I'm saying? She said, no, you can't do that. And he's like, he's got his all hands up. And when she went, I forget what she said to him. He basically, I don't know if they had a town council voting on it. He basically says, I don't know if he says this exact word, permission. He said, but I got permission from John White. Okay? So when I asked, what the hell does that mean? She said, well, the next day, I got this all on tape. She admits that he definitely said that. And I said, well, I don't know if he has his phone number.
Admitted on what, though? Was it on video, or is it just...
No,
or just like two people having a conversation?
It's on her body cam. I'm sure of it. When I asked her for the body cam, I said, why isn't Mr. Smith being arrested? She's the responding officer. She won't even attempt to answer. She goes, let me get my sergeant. Right. So she gets Zahner. Zaner comes down, okay? Zaner, now check this out. Zaner says to me like this. I said, listen, I want that body cam, okay, footage. I said, he admitted that. Zaner said something about because there was contact, kind of like the poor excuse you used that day when you didn't arrest Meekle for kicking in my front door. You said,
arrest you.
Why? Why would you arrest me? Or you could arrest me, but why wouldn't you arrest him? You know, there was people there. There was, you know what I'm saying? I didn't do anything where there was a person standing there. She got hit with wood splinters, okay? All I did was shut the door. You said I antagonized him. That's not true at all. Okay. I shut the door. Well, you can shake your head all the fuck you want. That's what I did. Right, so okay. All right, so, but just like I said, it's a piss poor excuse not to make an arrest. But anyway, he uses the same thing, saying there was a contact earlier, a text message. I said, yeah, because my grandmother asked her to send her some paperwork. That's all it was. Well, what is it? How's that an excuse not to arrest this man? When Ziviello when I'm a government witness down in Florida, he's setting a precedent for harassment. For all I did was ask her, are you not getting involved with my mom's killer's prosecution? Now, he threatened it. So when I when I asked him, he said, I'm investigating this. I'm going to get to it. He said he kicked it up. I asked Coppola. He said, no, I don't know nothing about it. I asked the chief. Coppola might have been lying. The chief seemed like he really didn't know nothing about it, okay, other than, right. So then I asked John White. He said, he evades the question. And I said, listen, he goes, I don't even know you, George. I said, I didn't ask you that, Mr. White. I said, did you talk to him? He said, no, he didn't. But Dave Smith said, I just got off the phone with him or whatever. Now, that's on the body cam. Now, no, he kicked it up, but nobody's saying that he got it kicked up to. So who's the other superior officer over Zaner?
It would be Sergeant Coppola.
Only Sergeant Coppola?
Right, because we're patrolmen, and then it goes up to the sergeant, and then after the sergeant, it goes to the chief.
Okay.
That's the step ladder up.
All right. Yeah, no, I understand it. I was wanting to see if maybe anybody else. Okay, so I'm trying to, like, I know, but there's like he's saying he kicked it up. He wouldn't tell me who, and then he said he was going to come up to the jail and say it to me that night, because I was like, well, what happened to the case that you're supposed to be investigating for me? He said, I kicked it up. I'll explain it to you when I come up to jail. He never came up. Okay, so I don't know. So when I came back here and I got this on recording, Coppola's saying he don't know nothing about it. Mm-hmm. And then that's when him and Jackson told me when I came over with the evidence, with the paperwork, he said, make sure you write it all down. I said, I already got it written down. He said, write it on a legal pad. I went back, I wrote it on a legal pad. The next day I came back. He wouldn't take it. And then Coppola said I had to put it on a USB. I said, the videos only make up about 1% of the evidence that I got. So then that's when they kicked it on you, saying, but I said, all right, he's the investigator. You could still collect evidence, but they didn't want it. They refused to take it. Then all of a sudden there was an emergency call. So I'm saying, Smith, if anybody investigates it, now on top of everything else, this is where I'm really going to get it. Department of Emergency Management, Clifton, this truck right here, the guy with the goatee and stuff. Listen, they were coordinating a disruption operation against me. Okay, I'm almost positive, but I couldn't prove this part, that they're running it out of the county. Okay, and that's getting contracted out, for wherever they're getting their grant money from, and I got it pretty much narrowed down. Okay, but here's the thing: I got John Gould with no lawful purpose over there while where they're doing these noise distractions on her. She's got that vibrational, and you see it, just like when you said that I supposedly punched his window that time. Remember that, right? And I said, well, did you go check the tape about him stopping right in front of our house, revving up his wheels like he does? And he's been making these hand gestures when she's walking by, your township guy. I'm not saying it's illegal, right, but I've been thinking he's always going like this whenever she's walking by. So I'm just saying there's a pattern. But I got John Gould, okay? He has no lawful purpose on our street. He's saying, I said, you got ID? He said,
who is he?
He's the Department of Emergency Management in Clifton. And he's signaling with your boy. He's on one end of the street. They got a Raymore Flanagan who doesn't drop off. And I got some of it on tape, but I didn't get him until I seen him. But I said, there's this truck parked outside with all the beepers on, doing the noise thing. I said, listen, guaranteed, it's not, they don't drop off no furniture, which they didn't, okay? Then and it's actually got one of these, the buses like held up too. All right, so and that's what constantly out front of our house, neighbors that are not even home and stuff. And it's the gang stalk. That's another thing. I got this town watch. okay, coordinating with at least two. This man right here, I forget his name, and John Gold. Because I actually came over to Jackson. I said, do you guys got any cooperations with the emergency management in Clifton? He said, you got to talk to Clifton. I said, I did. They said, they're not aware of any. Okay, but then he said he was on his lunch break on the middle of my street. So I followed him. Here he's on the car, he's parked on the next street, but there's the opening is on that street. He could have just walked right there. So I don't see why. I'm not saying he does it. I said he couldn't give me a lawful purpose why. And when I asked him for ID, he refused. He said, I don't have to give you ID. I said, I know you don't have to give me ID. Why won't you? You got a big gold badge hanging on, right? So then he made sure to say that he was on his lunch break. Yeah. So anyway, so there you go. Okay. And I got the evidence too that it was an intelligence contractor, former OGA, killed my mother. His headquarters is right there in Montgomery County. All right. And it looks like that they do contract out to these. I'm sure they use these kind of consults for the emergency management, but it looks like they might be directly involved with your town watch. Okay. And I know your Citizens Corps is definitely involved. Okay. Because I've seen one or two. What?
Oh, no, I said okay.
Okay, yes, right. And it's rather because it's a systemic issue, all right? And I'm sure, and let me ask you this, I mean, you know you don't have to answer. Have you gotten any certain instructions on taking a report from me?
No.
Oh, you haven't?
No.
All right, very good, because I just want to...
Same as I was talking to John Doe, and he came up here and said he wanted to make a report.
No, you didn't get any instructions from any of the hierarchy of the borough government?
Nope.
How about outside of an extra governmental channel?
We don't take direction from outside agencies here.
As an institution, you don't. But who knows what a person does individually?
Yeah, I mean, I can't speak for
Right.
other individuals.
Yeah, absolutely. So, okay, all right, very good. So, yes, Ms. Smith, the Department of Emergency Management, okay, and there's one other thing too that I just want to put out to. I got a letter 3 months ago from a special agent, Florida Department of Health. He's ready to testify once I go put into court, okay, that there was this officer detained me down in Florida. But it looks like there's very similar patterns going on about, just police investigators shirking all their duties, and the whole criminal investigatory apparatus. They do answer to other entities. But what happened was he told me to go ahead.
Stop me for 1 second. 2-1 copies. I'll give you a call in a minute.
Listen, there's two things. He throws me in a detainment, fabricates a story. I said, call this agent up, right? He hangs up on the phone. Agent says, I can't. He said, show me, tell him to look at your evidence. He said, tell him to call me, and I'll confirm that a full governor level investigation, now that's at a prosecution. But until we win the prosecution, he goes, I can't give him no details of mine. I can just confirm yours was good enough. Here, you don't look at evidence. Here, he hangs up the phone. Here, he makes a false report in that agent's name, thinking anyone say nothing. Well, the agent just wrote a letter to my lawyer, so it didn't even come directly to me. He said, someone with ethical obligations. Yeah, right. And he's a Pennsylvania media lawyer. He got it. He confirmed, saying that this cop fabricated the story. Here, this cop goes to the college with the guy whose headquarters is right there, both criminology, both psychology. And then listen, there was a tip from a guy. His name was Trace, Brian Trace. He's he was the Villanova strength and conditioning coach. He told me on November 30th there was they said it was an active shooter drill down there in Florida. Now I'm dead serious about this. They said he implied to me that it was a botched, false flag, that they were trying to set me up at that hospital. It's the hospital right across from my mother's place. I was there. They said they ended up saying it was but here the police were right across the thing. They said the standard procedure is you would always have a professional be the gunman. They said you have to notify police almost if you're going to do something like that, especially when the police is across the street, or any goodbye, especially down in Florida with the goodbye. They said, no, the police had no idea, or at least the lower levels of them didn't, okay? This guy, Brian Trace, he said, and he's an associate of the guy you got a picture of on your wall there. His name's the guy who stole all that shit from the Giant. You see that picture hanging there?
I know which picture you're talking about.
His name's Eddie Taylor from Delaware.
The guy in the picture?
The guy in the picture up there, yes. An associate of his said to me, listen, look, you can say anything you want. I had a man prosecuted. He's they already confirmed that I thought he was some kind of contract agent. No, it looks like he's a part of he's a groomed for medical intelligence CIA. The man who I got practically, that's where you would have your occupational cover.
Gotcha.
Okay, is because it's the only job in all healthcare and OPO clinical personnel that they totally they have a full HIPAA exemption. They can look in your record. That's what he did. He looked into my mother's medical records. She's seen she had a genetic resistance to the hepatitis C virus and exploited this allocation policy. And I mean, anybody who looks at the evidence, but there's a conspiracy there that's connected to the neighbor, that's connected to Jimmy Berger, that's connected to her. So my whole point is that you can have a person prosecuted for a murder for a conspiracy, okay, or even if it's a lesser variation as an accomplice, okay, even if if they're standing in another state. There's precedents of that before, especially when it's concurrent jurisdictions. Now, I asked Rosen up there when they were saying, oh no, that's in Florida. I said, well, say if my mom didn't even die. Okay, she still came in, and plus her crimes are directed at me. Like if you gave me $500 to go buy something and a guy robbed me, and it wasn't my money, but he robbed me, yeah, you lost the money, but I was the one who got robbed, right? See, and she directs it at me. I'm her next to, my mom's in a coma, like, you know what I'm saying? It affects her, but you know what I'm saying? But it's concurrent jurisdictions. And I said, when it comes down to it, if push comes to shove, back when you cops used to fight about who got cases, it's when it comes down to it, it's where you're standing at. And that's what, especially against another human. And Rosen said, yeah, you're right. A lot of times they do defer to wherever the physical thing is. But if it comes down to it and they wanted it, it's criminal investigators. It's where the crime happens. It's where they're standing. Not where the victimization is as much. But I mean, I'm not trying to be a hypocrite because I'm not lettered in order. I'm just unlettered in ordinary law. But so that's what I'm saying. So there's a whole host of things. I got evidence. If you want to take some, okay.
I'll take whatever you want to give me.
All right, but Miss, very good.
If you want to give me stuff, I'll take it, and I'll do a whole report just like you want, and everything will be looked into.
All right. Well, listen. Yeah, Miss Smith, she admits to it. That on June 8th. All right, I'll go right up to.
You gotta get a video or some kind of documents that's saying that she admit to it.
No,
it's not just me and you talking and saying, hey, somebody told me she admitted to something.
No. She admitted it to me, directly to me. So listen, I'm not saying you go book her on that, but that's you can go investigate her on that.
It can be, yeah.
Yeah, you can go question her, right?
But it's got to be. We can ask her, and she said, no, I never said that, and we have to. Then it becomes a he said, she said it because there's no actual.
Well, no, I got.
That she said it.
Listen, that very well might be true, but you can't cross it until you cross that bridge and to find out. Like that's what I'm saying. Like if you just go, and then if you could you, the day that, and I'll send you what's it, just the regular format for your last name at Alden Police Department for the video. All right, you want here? I'll give you some. Well, I don't have nothing written down on her, but I can show you the effects that happened with my mother if you want them.
Well, why don't you get everything together and then just turn everything over to me at once? That way you don't have to keep making multiple checks.
All right, very good. Then thank you so much. Yeah. Well, yeah, I got actually some written on her, but I don't have anything. All right, listen, one more thing. There's nothing preventing me from going over there and asking her some questions, right?
Over to who? Teresa Smith?
Yes.
Is that PFA still in place?
No, it's not. She never showed up for it.
If there's no PFA in place, I know there isn't.
Listen, I heard that there is Delaware County.
Now, if they get over there and she says she doesn't want you there and you don't leave, then it's going to end up.
When I asked Delaware County, they said you can ask the municipal cops to do a civil walkover with you if you think that there could be, if you got some pertinent business. But they said if you think it could be hostile or you don't want to get blamed for something that didn't happen, is that something that you guys would do?
Well, yeah, if you need an escort over there, if you're picking up belongings or something over there.
No.
You just want to have a conversation, you're better off doing it over phone. In all honesty.
Yeah, I know, but
to avoid confrontation, you know what I mean?
Right, but if I said I wanted to show paperwork or something like this.
To her, meet in a public place and do it instead of going to the residence.
Yeah, right, but I'm trying to make sure, like, all right, but what I'm just asking is...
I'm looking out for you, George. I don't want you going over to somebody's house and then somebody calling 911 on you and then everything becomes confrontation.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, right. It's all right, very good. And can you look into the... Well, I'll send it to you, but will you look at... I know it's not your case. The whole Zahner saying he was investigating that and he kicked it up. Can you find out who he kicked it up to? Because I'm not going to leave it alone because that's what he told me.
Right.
That he kicked it up. So I'm going to narrow it down to this.
I have no reason not to believe it.
All right, no. I'm saying like I'm gonna keep following that because that's not on me. He threatened her. Now, in all honesty, if Dave Smith called up and said that, yeah, like I believe he probably meant it for me when he called. But I'm not saying he said it to her. So all right, thanks a lot, officer.
Got it.
Hey, let me see. How do you spell your name exactly? Oh, you got a card? Very good. Oh, and one other thing, any kind of administrative things, would you kick that up to whoever it got to go to? Any complaints that I would have on?
Yes, you got to see Chief Civillo for that.
But if I just if I send you like the tape of it or something like that, you would forward it up to him, right?
I would, yes.
All right, thank you so much. Appreciate that.
Is that it, George?
That's it.
I have everything on recording here.
Very good. Very good.
I
Very
have
good.
everything documented.
Very good. Thank you so much.
Yep. Just enjoy the rest of your night.
You too. And I can come over and check in on that, like, which you, as I send it to you?
Yep.
Thank you so much.
Send me an email, I'll reply back to let you know that I got it.
Thank you. Cool. How'd that go? My name is George Trumbetti. I was ultra confidential prosecutorial witness for case number 202200252, Nurses versus Peoples. This is what they do. They gang stalk government witnesses around here, okay? This is what they do, you know? Here, for harassment, okay? Harassment, when I'm in Florida, asking my aunt, okay, why she's not getting involved with the man who murdered my mother. I get a harassment while standing in Florida. I just asked them several times, because we're going forward. We just let conspiracies and attempted murders go. That's what we do around here in Alden. Disabled women, deaf women, okay? They're saying it's yard out. You can listen to me. As long as we're getting grant money for it, you're allowed to violate them. It's no equal in the eyes of the law. No, it's not. Look at them right there. See that? They said, we're moving on from attempted homicides and conspiracies to commit homicides. Ask them. Just ask them. That's what they said. We're moving on. They can put in grant acquisitions, okay, to gang stalk government witnesses. For what? For what other purpose? See, that's what you got. Equal in the eyes of the law, right? No, wrong. Wrong. Chief Justice Thurgood Marshall says, this is what he says. He says, what holds the weight of law for thousands should hold the weight of law for billions. Not around here. Not in Alden. Not when you got gang stalk supreme leader down there, grease balls of yellow, saying, because whoever John White needs grant money for. That's what he does. That's what he does. Every single entity that I whistleblowed on, he said, I don't know nothing about it. He just said, I don't know nothing about it. Why he don't know nothing about it? Because they won't take no fucking paperwork. See? Whistleblower protection laws. Okay? So I'm all over the place. Yeah, because these fucking cops are letting people get killed all over the place, like my mom, and they're not doing nothing about it. All right. So there you go. I only got all the paperwork in my school bag. Okay? They're standing on. Are they coming by? That's what they do. They gang stalk government witnesses. So they do. She's standing in Alden. I'm standing in Alden. They don't know where the fucking jurisdiction of Alden is, obviously. Hello, Mr. Township Worker. Hi. I'm making this documentary. It's called Gang Stalking Government Witnesses. And I know you're an active gang stalker, and John White has taken much grant money to gang stalk me. So, yes, sir, I'm talking to you. So you want to go talk? Here? Yes. This is called gang stalking government witnesses right here. This man right here, this township worker, caught him in an active disruption operation against me, an ultra confidential witness, okay, and a federal protected whistleblower. Me, George Trombetti, on case number 202200252, Nursing versus Peoples. I'm the only person in American history to bring an OPO clinical personnel to a prosecution. Okay, this man, there you go. So tell him about you running a disruption operation, how you terrorized my dog and my fiance. Remember how you stopped that?
I don't even know who you are.
Oh, you didn't call the cops on me that day.
I never called the police.
Oh, okay, very good. So, can you tell me about John White and him and?
I'm not telling you anything.
Why not? Why not? You're a public worker, right? Can you tell me about gang stalking government witnesses, sir? You partake in it. We know you do. So, right? Why don't you just admit to it? That's case number 202200252. Here, we see some of the paperwork right here. Here, this is the borough. This is the borough township worker right here, and he gang stalks. He's a gang stalker.
Hey, John.
Hey, John. I'm not harassing. How am I harassing you? Okay, very good. Was I harassing anybody? I asked this man a question. Oh, so you do know me?
Okay. All right, thanks.
How am I harassing you? You're a public worker. I'm out here. I was just going to ask you about some of your job duties, sir. Like I found all these shredded, couple days in a row, all these shredded aluminum cans where me and my dog work. You know anything about that, sir? Sir, I'm standing right here. Hal, I asked you a question. How's I asked this man a question. He's working here.
10 Schistler Avenue. Yes.
How is it harassing? He's a worker. I'm asking him about cleaning the field. Okay, fine. Let's. George Trombetti. I live right here. I'm asking about the conditions of this field right here. I asked this man a simple question. I'm allowed to be on my phone. Oh, that's right. Okay, very good then. See that? See that? I asked you about the shredded cans in the grass. You refused to answer me. That's all. You're attentive. You listen to me. You work for me. I don't think you understand that. You didn't say nothing about anything about that. Okay? You didn't answer my questions or my inquiry. You're working here, right? So how's that harassing you? Go ahead. I never touched your, I didn't just touch nothing here. I've had to, you're a lying sack of shit. So why don't you tell me about them shredded cans in the grass over there? So how about them cans? I'm sure the glass cans that are all up in there the last couple of days. Can you tell me about them, sir? No? And nothing to say. You don't work here. All right, let's talk about gang stalking. You do that, right? I don't know. You tell me. I asked you first. Listen, I don't work for you. You work for me. I asked you about the cans shredded in the grass the last couple of days. You refused to answer me. I don't know why. You don't want to answer me? Why? I don't answer to you. You answer to me. You're forgetting that, sir. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. I work the township. I ask a perfectly legitimate question. You refuse to answer. So fine. So then you want to call and say I harassed you, and then bring up an incident that happened months ago that you said never happened. Okay. Why don't you just answer my simple question? Can you address the shredded cans that's been in these grass the last couple of days? Simple. Simple. Yes, there was shredded aluminum cans. I made a police report in that grass the last couple of days. What's the deal with that? Let me tell my.
Just came up, walked up. I'm trying to do some work in the garage, and he walked up and starts firing a bunch of questions at me.
That's illegal.
I don't know what his problem is.
Can I rebuttal that? Am I allowed? Am I allowed? Okay. Is this a police officer?
This is my chief.
Oh, all right. Very good. Listen, I made a report to Zahner. I said 3 days in a row. That's his buddy too, my dog. That there's been shredded aluminum cans right in that path. I asked Zahner to say. He said I wasn't aware of it. He said, "Did you say something to the guy?" Nothing. I came up and he just heard him. He said I asked him questions. He refused to even answer it, and then he gets on the phone and calls the cops and say I'm harassing him. You heard him. I said. I asked him questions 3 days in a row. I got the pictures and I reported it to Zahner. Come on, but shredded cans, it's all purpose, like too. I'm not saying he did it. I'm saying it's a pattern. No, and they're green too. No, I had to put the ones in the drain just so he wasn't there. You can ask my fiance. I got pictures of him and I reported it to Zahner. All I did was come up and started asking him a question and stuff. Okay. Yes, I did start to record it because he's in a public building, in a public area, right?
You have the right to do that.
And he just called the cops on me.
Okay.
I did ask him about John White, if he ever instructed him to gang stalk me. But outside of that, what though? But all I did was ask questions.
You want to hit my fucking house? Good. That dude right there just hit my house. Right there. He just threw a rock at my house. Yep, that fucking one right there. He's trying to hit my fiance with a rock. We're on our property. He's coming up on my property trying to hit him with a rock. Oh! Just hit my fiance with a fucking rock. Almost hit my fucking house again. Yep, that guy right there just hit my fiance with a rock and just hit my property with a fucking rock.